Good evening, friends. Welcome back to my channel Infinite Trade. My name is Robin, and let's do a Nifty and Bank Nifty analysis. So basically a weekly review, and also we'll see how we can plan our day tomorrow. And sorry that I couldn't record the video for the last whole week because my kids were unwell and I was pretty much occupied in that. But now they are stable and I'm back on track. Okay, so let's not waste time and do a quick review on Nifty and Bank Nifty. So this is Nifty's weekly chart. So this is how Nifty looks at the moment, and it is a clear indication that Nifty is again approaching this particular area. Okay, so people who know Dow theory and or who do not know Dow theory, you can definitely always watch the video. I've already posted it in my YouTube channel. So as per Dow theory, like we have already formed lower highs. Okay, so Charles Dow says that you need two peaks and one bottom. Okay, so this indicates that you have a trend line or a downtrend line. So this shows that we had a downtrend line formation, and this fall and this one, and then again a fall. So this was the trend validation. Okay, so as per Dow theory, this we call it as trend validation. That means we identified this trend, and on the third time it definitely respected it and it fell down. So the trend validation is done, and we could also see a good fall. Now the question is whether this will continue, like whether it will go hit this place and continue to fall down, or is it that it is going to go up, is something which we'll have to discuss now. So as per my view, okay, the market is definitely bullish, but all these days we have seen that it is rejecting from this particular area. So obviously, like, sellers will definitely enter this place, okay, expecting a rejection from here. But at the same time, if we have to surpass this particular trend line, definitely there is some hard work which is required from the bulls. The reason is, this trend line is being attempted from very low end. Okay, so already imagine that a lot of money is pumped in at this place, and yet another I think around 400-500 points is remaining. So more money needs to be pumped in, and then the market has to give a breakout. And since a lot of buyers are already sitting with profit, even looking at a single red candle, they'll get some fear, and definitely or obviously some point of news will kick in at this area and people will try to sell. So the selling pressure is there from the sellers and also from the people who wish to book their profits. So that's how the resistance is usually respected. So if the market has to continue, so ideally we have space until this trend line. So this happens to be somewhere close to 17,700. Okay, so we have room in Nifty to go until 17,700. This can even scale down to 17,600 if we do some time pass here, because this is a downward trend line, and as and when the market is not hitting this trend line, every time this figure goes down. So if it attempts tomorrow, that means it is going to be 17,700. So let's check. Yeah, so around 17,650 to 700, but we can consider 17,600 to 700, so that at least we are vigilant at that place and we are not buying a call or holding a call at that point. So definitely we are going to face resistance here, so we'll definitely attempt to buy put at this point, And the point is whether the market has turned bullish. So see, technical analyst, we cannot say that market has turned bullish or not until and unless we see a price action, something like this. So we see a price action of lower high and lower lows, but we haven't seen a price action yet. So from this point, what Nifty has to do is it has to go and hit this resistance, come down to this place, take support around 16,800, 16,700, and then if it breaks this level, then obviously we'll be sure that we have a low here, we have another low here. That means we got a trend line as per Dow theory, and we need a trend validation here, and then this uptrend can continue. Okay, this is one of the possibility. So definitely a dip is expected. Imagine that market is always unimaginable at times. Yeah, so imagine it is just putting small green candles and breaking this. So still it can break, and then the ultimate resistance is going to be the all-time high around 18,600, and then the market can fall again. Okay, so but I'm not expecting this moment, but what my expectation is, either it will go to this place, come down and break this and go like this, or the second thing is, let's change the color. The second thing is it can go hit this resistance, come back, and fall slow and steadily and come down. So this is the possibility 1 and this is the possibility 2. The only problem here for being bullish is, if you remember, like I think last week's weekly analysis and even prior to that, I was discussing that if this is the right place for market to form price pattern, something like this, and then slow and steady go and break this out. But the issue here is, if you look at the weekly chart, it is going straight like this, what we can see here, and it is behaving in a similar way even at this place. So this brings in some fear that people may book profits here, and then again the market can turn down. But the only positivity that we see here is FIIs are buying in cash market, but still I'm not convinced with it, because what happens is, keep this in mind or write it somewhere. So if they are short covering in their future positions, okay, short covering in futures, and that too in loss, to compensate this, they buy in cash, because they are big boys and obviously they don't accept losses, and they invest in cash, they book this money and they put it in cash. So that's how we can see the cash buying. And they also booked the profits a couple of days, and again on Friday they again were net buyers in the cash market. So still in a confusion place. So again, coming back to the same discussion, like how FIIs buy is, they make the market range bound for about 3 to 4 months, and that's how they slowly start buying in small quantities. Like one day they'll buy for 500 crores and 800 crores, 1000, 1500, 2000, like that. And at that time, they will short heavily in stock futures. Okay, so the stocks will not perform at that time, and it will be sideways, and they'll invest cash. So that's how they create positions, but so far we did not see anything like that yet. Okay, so this is my view on Nifty. So if it reaches 17,600, people who are you know who know option strategies, like can trade bearish position with a hedge, I'm definitely going to take positional trade here. Okay, so the simple trade is, sell 17,600 call. Okay, once it reaches this place around 17,600, and buy 17,800 or 18,000 call. Okay, but we'll not do any adjustments or anything. All that we'll do is, we'll keep a stop loss of say 17,750, So once it reaches 17,750, we'll close entire position with whatever loss it is. Okay, you can check that on Opstra to understand how much loss you will get at that point. But if the market turns around, definitely I'll be shifting this position from 17,600 call. I'll shift it to 17,500, and then I'll shift it to 17,400. So if it returns here, then we can at least accept a fall until 16,800. So I'll definitely trade until this place. So this is how you plan your position trade. Yeah. Now let's quickly discuss Bank Nifty also, and then we'll move on to the daily analysis. So this is Bank Nifty on a weekly time frame. So here is a trend line, and it has just touched it. And if you look at the daily candle, it has formed a hanging man pattern at this point. Okay, so I hope everyone can see the hanging man. So a classical example of a reversal candle, a hanging man right at the resistance. So this gave me confidence to buy put on a Friday, and even our Algo bought put options, and we made profits in both Algo as well as the self trade. Okay, so Bank Nifty already reached a resistance. So Nifty has some room. So Nifty has say about 300 to 400 points room here, 300 to 400. So what will Bank Nifty do by then? Right? So Bank Nifty cannot just sit below this trend line, right? So we can see something like this. So this is known as excess. Okay, so like if you have to draw a trend line, you can actually draw it from here. Okay, you can actually draw it from here. So this is an excess. So this is usually possible. So we can see an excess here, like we can see either a doji or another hanging man on a weekly chart or something like this. So we can see an excess, and then it can come back into the trend line. Okay, and then you can go short in Bank Nifty too. So how Bank Nifty can become bullish? So if Bank Nifty has to become bullish, then it should come down, take support near 35,400, and then break this trend line and continue the upside, and that's how the upside can sustain. Okay, and in a similar way, Nifty's important level is 16,700, 800. It should take support from there and then take a U-turn on the upside. Then only the market can go upside. The only issue is, I don't know how many of you know it or not, the gaps. Okay, so stocks may or may not fill the gap. Okay, but whereas index, it will definitely fill the gap. Sometimes it may take 3 or 4 months, but definitely it will turn around to come and fill the gap. So why I'm telling this, because Nifty and Bank Nifty almost every day they open gap up and they went up, and there are so many gaps below. There is a gap at 15,800, 900 area. So possibility of coming back to that place maybe in this month or maybe a couple of months later, but definitely those gaps needs to be filled. So this is a discussion on Nifty and Bank Nifty on a weekly time frame. So Nifty is approaching a resistance. At resistance, we can take a positional sell trade with an hedge, and during that time we can avoid actually Bank Nifty, because Bank Nifty can confuse because it is at a trend line and definitely it can create some more excess. So if there is an excess, where it can go, it can still try and approach about uh, around say this level. This happens to be around 38,400. Okay, so if there is an excess, it can still attempt 38,400, 500 area, and then it can create a reversal. So we'll keep an eye on that. Moving back to a smaller time frame. Cool. So this is how the smaller time frame is, and I'm doing all the analysis right in front of you. We'll mark the levels, and then we'll look at the participant wise OI data, and then we'll continue with the analysis. So I'm marking a line here. This happens to be my support. Okay, and I'm going to put a black line here to mark the swing high. Okay. And if we need more support, the next support happens to be this low. Let's put it in green, and then somewhere here around the close price of this. So if it breaks, then obviously the gap fill. Okay, so we have support for Bank Nifty. Let's also quickly mark for Nifty. Nifty, set this place. Okay, and it has already broken the swing and also broken day high. This is a close price, and in this case we'll mark a level here. Okay, let's do one thing. Instead of marking a level here, we will mark the PDH. Cool. So we have all our levels in place. Now we'll quickly discuss the participant wise open interest. Okay, so what FIs did on a Friday is, this is unbelievable, and they have added 10,985 longs in the future, and they have added just about 900 shorts in the future. This is basically an hedge to this position. Okay, and let me tell you, this 10,985, almost 10,000 contracts are added in Nifty, so they haven't added anything in Bank Nifty much. So this itself indicates that Nifty has room to go upside and Bank Nifty doesn't. And the next thing is, let's look at the call and put options. So they are long in call and long in put too, and pros are short on calls and short on put too. So this indicates that Monday market can move both ways, so it cannot be trending one side. So in case of a big gap up, then it can be trending on the downside, because automatically so one leg they'll book the profits, like the call buy and the put short. So we can see a one-way market in case of a gap up. Okay, so market looks volatile. Definitely it's going to be a good day for the option buyers. Okay, now let's get back to our levels. So Nifty, we saw that FIs have added more futures. So we know that Nifty is about to open gap up, because SGX Nifty has closed about 40 or 50 points higher, so that can even come down. So in case, okay, if we open flat and if we break this, definitely we are going to buy call. And so from here we'll reduce our quantity on the upside, okay, because market has moved tremendously, and for every other moment that is going to come, we'll reduce the quantity. So if it breaks 17,150 170, then we can expect a rally until 17,300. So we'll just plan like 100 150 points move on the upside, and when to go short is only below 17,064 is when we can go short. At least we need two candles to close here, or you may see a price action something like this, then we can attempt for 16,900 for the gap fill area. Okay, and let's quickly discuss about gap up or gap down. So if market opens here and if it is coming down, do not trade. Okay, so this can be dangerous. Only if this breaks is when we are going to trade, or if it shows a reversal at this place, we can definitely buy a call here. Okay, in case of a gap up, I would say avoid Nifty, because it will confuse us and we'll only buy. So since the market is in an uptrend, all that we need to do is, you just have to focus on support. Okay, forget about the resistance. So you get a dip, you definitely buy a call. Okay, so if it is opening with a gap up at this place, we'll try and go long, because we are not sure how fast or how slow this moment will be. So we don't want to get trapped. Or what if they continue to go high? Okay, so only if we get a dip is when we'll buy a call, otherwise we'll avoid. Okay, and in case of a gap down, uh, what it will do is it will again take resistance here and it may trade in this range for some time. So we can trade the range breakout or a breakdown in Nifty. Okay, but I'm not going to focus much on Nifty because FIs have their positions there. So only if it opens against them is when I'm more interested, like the gap down. So Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty's idly trend on Friday was a downtrend. Okay, a sharp selling, then a small recovery, and now it has closed exactly in the middle. So this is again a problem. Okay, if we open flat and if we break this high, which is 37,550, definitely you can buy a call and we can expect a target of around 37,800. Okay, and if it opens flat and it starts coming down, that is dangerous. So why dangerous? Because we'll go and buy a call here, but we cannot forget that there's a sharp selling that has happened here. So I would not recommend to buy a call here because it will go until this place and then again it may come back and break this level. So since Bank Nifty has already formed such a pattern, I am looking at a possibility of only selling, going for a put buy or a call sell. Okay, so just in case if we open gap up, say around this place, we'll wait for a dip. Okay, if it takes a dip and crosses the day high, say before 10:45 a.m., definitely we are going to buy a call. Okay, we'll buy a call for the target of 37,800 and in fact even 38,000. So if, but only if it crosses the day high, nobody should enter here because it will just do another bounce. It will break this. So if this level is broken, we'll buy a put here and our target happens to be 37,260, somewhere around this place. We'll book our profits, and if it further gives a breakdown, then again you may re-enter for the target of 37,050. So this is how we'll plan. We plan flat opening. So flat opening, if it comes down, not interested in call, this is avoidable. Flat opening and break of this level, obviously we'll buy a call. And a gap up opening, only if it breaks the day high is when we are going to buy call. And if it comes back in this range, we are going to buy put. And the last option is opening with a gap down. So already a selling pressure and again a gap down opening, that means continuation of the trend or continuation of the sentiment. So we'll wait for it to fill the gap and then we can enter in the put side. We'll wait here to break it, then obviously we can see this level. Okay, so this is my view on Nifty and Bank Nifty for tomorrow. I may also record the part 2 video of the volume analysis, which I've already posted the part 1. I'm going to record the part 2 today, and you may see that video also. That will help you to take very good entries in Nifty and Bank Nifty and any other stock as well. Okay, people who are interested in Algo, please do subscribe. We have seen more people joining us with the trust in the Algo and in me, and I definitely want everyone to give it a try. It's performing well, and this is not something which is made in a hurry and given it to people. It's been thought, a lot of hard work and efforts have been put in and then tested, uh, with a lot of money, and then we give it to people. So do check out our Algo, and please share this channel with more and more people so that people may benefit out of it. Thank you so much for watching. Let's meet in another video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.